After ongoing talks between Newcastle United and Crystal Palace over the potential signing of Marc Guehi, the Palace owner, Steve Parish, has gone on live TV to shoot down and effectively reject Newcastle's third bid for the player, stating that no club is close to their valuation of the player, and if you want a superstar player, you have to pay superstar fees. That's right. The Palace owner, in my opinion, takes a very large dig at Newcastle United, and we're going to talk about it and what the plan is next for Newcastle United in this video. Yes, guys, how's it going? Welcome back to a new video. It is another early start. It is another cup of tea with quite a lovely, pretty cup there. So there you go. Grab your cup there. We'll have a chat in this video. As I say, the Premier League is just 3 days away now. Mad few days. Premier League starts in 3 days. All the kits are out now. The away kit looks absolutely amazing. The video that went with it was brilliant as well. News as of yesterday, as I did a video on, Bradley Miller, the COO of Newcastle, has confirmed Newcastle owners will pay into an expansion extension or potentially even a new stadium at St James's Park. So a lot of good things happening. What we wanted to do was just put that tick in the box for that Marc Guehi signing to be done, dusted, ready to go for Saturday. And after having a first bid rejected, second bid rejected, third bid in, which was thought to be somewhere between the 50 million previous bid to the 65 asking fee of Crystal Palace, and the Crystal Palace owner has taken the decision to air all of it out in public and not only decline Newcastle, but in my opinion throw quite a bit of shade at Newcastle as well by saying that no club is coming close in his valuation of the player. If you want a superstar player, you have to pay his superstar fees. He called Marc Guehi a generational talent, and as for me, aired, what was a private conversation, between Mitchell and the Palace owner of the player, and has just taken it to the world and pretty much, as I say, thrown shade, thrown fire, thrown a bit of a dig at Newcastle and said, look, they're nowhere near what we want, and what are they going to do about it? I think it's dodgy. I think it's poor form. Now look, I will say that this is the Palace owner. This is not Marc Guehi. I think there's potential that Newcastle... I mean, I spoke about this as well. I did say that coming up to the third bid, it will have to get the player on the third bid. Like, you don't want to start getting into a fourth and a fifth. And if Newcastle knew that Parish had this... Maybe he didn't. Maybe he's been playing it a lot more coy behind closed doors, but has now decided to be way bolder and way brasher in public. Probably. We're probably not far off. Whatever Newcastle's bid was probably not even far off, but he's obviously trying to egg Newcastle on to pay more. He's possibly trying to egg on a Liverpool or somebody else to also maybe come in and put the bid in. You know what? It's kind of lost its mojo. It's kind of lost its excitement in this whole deal, full stop. I think if Newcastle had gone in first day and gone bang, 65 million, let's have it, the roar would have been insane. I think now if Newcastle pays 65 million, it basically looks like we've bowed down to Parish and his demands, and it just looks poor on our part as well. I think we've, regardless now, it's going to be tough whatever happens with this one. I think if Newcastle sign Marc Guehi, it's positive, but to do so, we have to bow down to whatever the hell the Palace owner said. Oh, was it 65? Well, it's actually 75 now. Pay up, And if Newcastle start paying people whatever the hell they want, it's fallen into a trap. It's a situation where Newcastle are going to always be getting asked for more. Okay, we'll pay you more because you asked for it. We've still got a right wing position that we want to fill as well. because he's made it so public now, whatever Newcastle do will pretty much lose, because we either walk away with the tail between our legs to some degree. You know, we've gone in bold, or that was what was reported, that Newcastle were going in big, bold and brash to get the signing done, and you know, we haven't pulled it off. And then on the other hand, well, I say that, you don't know what the conversations were behind closed doors, and the appearance was that Mitchell was going in strong. You know, it's this big first signing at Newcastle, let's make a big statement here. And as I say, I think, yeah, Parish going public, Parish kind of basically pushing into the media that Newcastle are nowhere near, and look, as I say, this doesn't reflect on Marc Guehi, so if Newcastle do go in, we do pay the man, and we do take the signing, then I'll be happy to say a very talented player. But, you know, the way to do that is to give in to someone who's basically, you know, called us out publicly, and then give them the money anyway, so it's going to be very tough, whatever we do here, for Newcastle to kind of come away with a positive light. And I think it does post a bit of a slant on the signing if it happens. As I mentioned, if he does come in, he's a fantastic player. He will make us better. He will make our challenges for Champions League better. But why, if Parish wants to actually sell the player, then why would he publicly throw it on Newcastle like that? It is what it is. It pretty much looks like he has declined our third bid, and at this point I would probably suggest Newcastle turn away from it and look somewhere else. I mean, the initial asking was 60, 65. I don't know what Newcastle went in for. You'd imagine that it's about 60. He's saying that we're nowhere near, apparently. So what the hell is the asking price? 70, 80? Like, how much does Newcastle have to pay to get this player over? They're looking at selling another centre-back in Anderson. I think they want 30, 35 million for him. They've already sold Elise to Bayern Munich. So, in fairness, I mean, one thing I will say is that Parish, it is his player. He doesn't have to sell him. He doesn't have to. They've just made loads of money off Elise. They might be getting bloody Zaha back on loan. So, I mean, that would be a win for them, wouldn't it? Sell Elise for 60 and just get Zaha back on a free loan. I mean, they've not done too badly if that one comes off. They've got the money in this summer. They don't really need to do anything. Obviously, in 2 years' time, he walks on a free because his contract's running down as it is. I think if they're going to get 65 million, now's the best time to get it. I think after a Euros, I think it's probably the most expensive he'll be. I think next season he won't go up because his contract will be a year lower. So in Palace's best interest for selling a player who will leave for free in 2 years' time, it's really their initiative to sell him as well, and maybe that's what Newcastle are working on. But as I say, it's his player, and if he doesn't want to, he doesn't really have to. But that's why I say that at the same time, Newcastle also don't have to go above and beyond to pay it. I mean, I won't lie. At the start of this week, I said if we're going to go in for a third bid, we should lay it down and get it done. You know, I think it's bit us. It has bit us. In my opinion, you can look at it differently if you want. You can say that it's not us, it's them or whatever. But I think that after two bids, we should be reading the field. I can't get that out of my mouth. Reading what's going on and go, right, well, the third bid needs to nail it. And by the looks of things, it hasn't. Or even if we said, yeah, you'll have 65, Parish has done a U-turn and said he wants more anyway. So it is disappointing to hear this kind of all coming out, because as I say, regardless of what happens now, either we'll overpay or we don't get him. That's the two options here. And with that, the other option is we'll look somewhere else. We've obviously been linked with a few other centre-backs in Chow from AC Milan. I mean, I really liked him. I thought that would have been a good one for a much lesser fee, 35 million compared to 65. Obviously, he's unproven in the Premier League. It's a little bit of a different take on that one. And it was rumoured, that he was happy at AC Milan, which is why that one fell through. And with 3 days to go to the start of the season, I mean, it's funny how you look at things and how your perspectives change, isn't it? Because as I say, initially at one stage, the immediate 65 for Guehi was very, very young, very, very exciting. And then when this kind of plays out in the media, kind of throws back in your face a little bit, and you think, well, we've got Fabian Schär, like, we do have a very good right-sided centre-back, and there's no denying that we need to improve or at least have backup there and look to improve as Schär gets a little bit older and we make a decision on his 1 year contract left. But do we need to spend 65 million to replace Schär this window? Probably not. You know, I would probably suggest we go looking at the right wing, and then if we don't do a centre back, this we've got Lascelles coming back in, we've got Botman back in, we've got Kelly. Can't play Kelly and Burn together. You know, I know they're both left-footed, but I'm sure they can. Between the pair of them, they can make their way through a couple of games if we needed to. So you let me know your thoughts down in the comments below about Guehi. As I've mentioned, he's a very good player, a very talented player. If Newcastle do go back in, do stump up the money, and we do get him, I will be excited. So I do want to put that caveat in. It's just, it's just disappointing. Well, you know, you could argue that you just, regardless of the player, you could take the point that, well, why would we want to work with a person like that who's gone public? Like, there was no need for him to basically come out and publicly slam Newcastle. That's the word I'm looking for. Slam Newcastle. When we're in discussions, you know, he's obviously very frustrated or pent up or whatever to really put it that way. Or, you know, I think he's, for me, unless it works, you know, unless Newcastle do go and pay the money. But if it was me, I would turn around and go, you know what, for a better word, f you. You know, if that's the route you want to take, I don't want to do business with you. And I think, you know, for the Saudi owners we have, I would be very surprised if we look at it and go, oh right, Steve, we'll pay you. You know. As I say, no slant on if we do it. Like, Guehi is a fantastic player, and I'll be happy to have him. A little bit of news on Almiron to finish off as well. Newcastle have reportedly rejected a bid of around 10 million for Almiron from Charlotte FC. It's the MLS transfer windows today, so I think it's a bit of an Almiron PSR deadline or whatever. See if Almiron leaves today. I think 10 million's too low. But it would be a record fee for Charlotte FC if they paid it. So you can look at it two ways. You know, it's once again that situation where we want Almiron to go to Saudi for 20-25 million. He doesn't want to go to Saudi. I don't think many people are going to probably pay that much more than 15-20. You know, I don't know. Where is Almiron's value right now? I don't value him very highly. Maybe from the outside perspective, he is still valued more. I think over in the MLS, he'll go and smash it over there. So I think the actual value to an MLS team is probably higher because they know he'll come in and probably a Premier League player, fair enough, will probably go and do a really good job there as he did previously before coming to Newcastle United. But I suppose at 10 million, if we can get them to 12, 13, 14, really push them times 5 over the 5 years spread out, for us, that would be, you know, still 75 million to spend this window. Like, as I mentioned this yesterday or the day before, when we sold Maxi for 30, we went and spent 150. Sell Almiron for 10, spend 50. So it's a decision we have to make as to whether it's worth getting Almiron out and having the money now, or if it's worth trying to keep pushing for a bigger deal. Because that's one thing that has seemingly stumped us this window, is trying to go in, come back out. Is it this fee? Is it that fee? And look, it's a hard window. I will put that down as well. Not a lot of teams have done as much business this summer. That's just fact, unless you're Chelsea, obviously, and a few others. But generally speaking, it has been quiet, and it has been for Newcastle. And I have talked for a fair amount of time there. So thank you guys for watching, as always. Thoughts on Guehi down in the comments below. Do you still want to see this one happen, or are you, I still want to see it happen. Like, that's what I want to come across in this video, is that I do like Guehi. I think he's a very good player, and if it happened, I would be a very happy man. I just don't know why it had to take this turn to publicly decline our bid online. And I think, this is the thing, the player himself, I love. The people we're dealing with, clearly I don't. And I don't think Newcastle will either, which is why I would say on principle values, I think Newcastle should just walk away and go somewhere else. It depends how much they want the player and whether they're willing to swallow that pill. I would say that because of the players we have right now in short and other players, I don't think I would swallow that pill. I think I would go somewhere else and not give him the satisfaction or the money that he's asked for. Thank you guys for watching. Nice and positive this morning. As I say, 3 days to go to the game on Saturday regardless. And we'll see what happens next. If you're not subscribed and you still watch me waffling on for the last 15 minutes, then be sure to go ahead and hit that big red button. Loads of videos right now. Enjoy your day. Hopefully the sun comes out very soon. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you later.